guys? It's Jossie from Team Sanctum, coming at you here with Jay, bringing you an updated Lunalight, or what?
I would say it's another version of Lunalights you can play. So this version of Lunalights is Lunalight Metalfoes. This is all the new stuff that came out in Dark Illusions. Now, a lot of people are probably questioning, Lunalights, that deck is pretty crappy. Why would anyone want to play that? And then you see Metalfoes, and then you're like, okay, let me see what I can do with this. So I tinkered, I played with it a little bit, and I believe that this deck is probably super fast as a fusion deck. So we'll get right down to it right now with the monsters. So obviously, play 3 Lunalight White Rabbit. You play her at 3, no matter what. Her effect is literally you special summon from the graveyard. You can get a Lunalight monster onto the field. You get at least 2 or 1 other ones. It doesn't matter how many you have. You can bounce back as many spell and trap cards that you have. You run 3 Black Sheep. You run 3. It's necessary. Discard from your hand. You get a polymerization, or you get a Lunalight monster from the graveyard. It's basically necessary.
Feel it.
Lunalight Blue Cat basically sets up the defensive loop, but also I will tell you why you have to run her at 3 and why she is really good, especially with the Metalfoes. But okay. Run her at 3, such as with the other Lunalights too. 3 Lunalight Wolves evens out the scales because all the one of the Metalfoes is a scale 1. Mm-hmm. So having another scale 1 that basically evens it out. There's 2 scales, so I will be fine with that. And also for the banishing effect to special summon a fusion monster, which is really good. And the piercing, if you can special summon it, which you will be able to do a lot of in this build. 3 Lunalight Tigers, because you can special summon a monster from the graveyard. Effects are negated, but it can attack. However, you literally do that if you have a Cat Dancer on the field. Use Cat Dancer's effect, tribute it. Cat Dancer can attack twice, or you use it after you normal summon out like a random monster, random Lunalight monster. You a polymerization or a fusion tag or whatever you want to do. Fuse it. You get your monster back. You get Black Sheep. You get Black Sheep's effect because of this. Well, not because of this, but because you special summon Black Sheep off of this. Black Sheep's effect goes off in the grave. So it's really good when you do that.
Question.
Yeah.
Do playing 3 of all of them ever clog?
Not at all, actually. It does not clog whatsoever. Like, a lot of people think, like, me playing 3 of this, I'm already know I'm going to get comments where they're going to be like, yo, man, you could just run that at, like, blah, 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 and you can run more of the Metalfoes. No. In this build, you focus a lot more on the Lunalights, because the Lunalights is the body, it is like basically the huge car, and then the Metalfoes are like the engine of the deck. Now we're going to get on to the Metalfoes.
The engine of the deck.
Run 3 Gold Rivers. Like I said, Gold River is scale 1. Its effect, if it's in the scale, you can pop a card, and then you can set a Metalfoe card in your spell and trap zone. Same thing as with this. However, this one is a scale 8. So Lunalight Tiger is scale 5. This one is scale 8. You want to have this as the other scale so you can be able to special summon out Wolf or any of the higher level monsters. However, if you have like scale the Lunalight Tiger in the other scale, it's not going to really bother it that much. You'll still be able to special summon basically all your deck except for Wolf. But however, this has the same effect as Gold River. So that's it for the monsters. We're going to move on now to spell cards. Run 2 Lunalight Perfumes.
Just the new one, right?
Yes, this is the new one that came out in Dark Illusions, Lunalight Perfume. You can special summon a Lunalight monster onto the field, and while it's in the graveyard, you can discard a card, banish this from your grave, and then you can add a Lunalight card into your hand. It's really good if you get into a situation where, you say, for instance, you need that defensive loop. So you special, get Blue Cat out in defense, then you discard, and you get like... say, for instance, you have a normal summon, you get White Rabbit or you get Wolf into your hand. It's really good, and I honestly would want to play this only at 2 in this build.
Fair enough.
Run 2 Fusion Recoveries because you don't want to see it. You want it, but you don't need it. That is my whole reasoning behind Fusion Recovery. You want it, but you don't need it.
Fair enough.
All right. Where's the other one? Here we go. Run 3 Fire Formation Tenki. It's staple in this deck. Just to be honest, you activate it. Your Beast Warrior type monsters get 100. You get a free.
it's tanky.
It's tanky. It's necessary. That's all I can say. I run fusion tags. Now here is what made people question me a little bit, and how Jossie over here who's filming it kind of questioned me a little bit. So fusion tag, you can activate it. You can reveal any fusion monster that's in your deck, and then that monster on the field becomes that fusion monster in your extra deck. And the reason why you want to play this, I would want to play this at 3, because playing it at 3 would be a lot better. It would end up being, this card would be a necessity to have in your hand first turn, and then have another polymerization. You can get out any of your fusion monsters just like that. But literally, you can get any of the Metalfoes out, any of the Lunalights out with just this fusion card. 3 polymerizations, staple.
Going in.
And now, the only Metalfoes spell card that I run, Metalfoes Fusion. Only one. Reason being, you can recycle it. Literally, activate it, fuse your monster, goes in the graveyard, activate the effect, put it back in your deck, get a draw. It's a recyclable card.
So, I know Connor had said earlier when we were talking about this, have you ever considered playing 2 and 2? 2 of the fusion and then 2 of the poly?
Well, here's the reason behind that. I want to run 3 of this because I like the idea of fusion cards out of my hand. This card, let me see this. Oh, it does do it in hand or fill. Well,
is it just because it's not?
It's just because
specific?
it's just because it's specific towards only one type, which is Metalfoes. In all honesty, so you just activate it. You use it only on your Metalfoes, and that's just it. Wait.
And being able to get it back.
Nope.
If you
can use other
correctly.
monsters too with it, but this just goes back to my previous statement. You can recycle it. And plus, I honestly don't think you should run this at 2. Like, I've already talked with Alex about this card. This card is good, but it's not something you want to see
Alex might have
but
a different opinion.
Yeah, he might have a different opinion. All right, so that's it for the spell cards.
Different decks, different.
Now we're gonna move on to the trap cards. Run the 2 new cards from Dark Illusion, 2 Floodgates, because your Wolf and your Orichalc in your extra deck do piercing. Orichalc does double piercing, Wolf does piercing. So literally, your opponent, you literally have, say for instance, Wolf in your extra deck, you can summon out Orichalc next turn. Your opponent goes like, alright, summon my random monster. You go Floodgate. Your opponent looks at you and he's just like, in turn, you go special summon out Wolf. Then you go Fusion, you get Orichalc out. Orichalc does double piercing to your defense monster. It's just really good.
Kill it.
Lunalight Reincarnation Dance, run 2 of this. I'm going to just go back to what I said before. You want it, but you don't need it.
Fair enough.
And then Metalfoes Combination. I've gotten to situations where I need to run it at 3, but I still don't think you should run it at 3. You should only run it at 2. Metalfoes Combination is a card that you set, you activate. Like, you sometimes will not get the fusion effect part of the trap card off. But what you really want is the pop effect. You pop it, you get a Metalfoes card into your hand.
What about the other one? Counter?
Counter would not really work well in this. Like, all it does is just special summon out it just special summons out a Metalfoes monster. In my personal opinion, playing this deck, I would rather have a Metalfoes card in my hand. That way, I have options. So if I already have 2 scales of the Metalfoes in the scales, then I can be like, okay, I got options. All right, pop this scale, boom. Then I can activate the other scale. I can use that scale's effect, pop the other one, and just do stupid stuff. Okay. So that's it for the trap cards. Now we're gonna move on to the extra deck monsters. Oh, let me smooth that out. We're gonna move on to the extra deck monsters. Run Sky Cavalier because it's good, and literally it's just because it's good. And you run what, White Rabbit and Black Sheep at 3, and most of the time you're going to be normal summoning White Rabbit effects, special summon Black Sheep, and if you want to choose, you can overlay Cavalier. You get over a big monster because you put it back in the extra deck or something. Daigusto Emerald. I have not went into him yet, but in situations where I just recycled my graveyard, get a draw. which is really good in my opinion.
Do you ever use it in situations to summon the Metalfoes back if they get to the grave, like if they get like solemned or whatever?
I actually have. I did it one time just to get a game.
That shit's funny.
It is funny. I did it. It was on Dev Pro when I did it. The guy instantly, as soon as he saw me summon out Digusto Emerald, I special summoned out the 3000 attack fusion monster, and the guy just ended the game. He just surrendered and quit. So that's the only 2 XZ monsters. Now the bread and butter of this deck is all the fusion monsters. So we're gonna go with the Metalfoes first. Run 3 Orichalc. You just run him at 3. His effect is literally if he attacks a defense position monster, do double piercing.
It's all of them, right? Like it's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all of them.
Grimy.
And pretty much, if this card does get destroyed, you can target a monster and you can target a card on the field, I believe. Yep, card on the field and destroy it. So it's literally an offensive and defensive card. Your opponent goes like, okay, I'm going to get rid of it. And you could just be like, okay, get rid of your monster. It's just hilarious.
I dark hold it once and cried.
Metalfoes Adamante, just 2. It's just it's a 25 beat stick. Really,
that's all you need.
Pretty easy to get out. You only run one of him. Metalfoes Crimsonite. You only run one of him because of the cost. You need a 1 Metalfoes and you need 2 other monsters. So it's almost like Leo Dancer without any of Leo Dancer's effects. So you only bring this out if you need a beat stick on the field or if you just really want to push for game.
Fair enough.
Now we're gonna move on to the Lunalight cards. Well, the Lunalight fusions. Run 2 Leo Dancers because you don't need to run, in this build, you don't need to run 3. In a different build, you can run it at 3. And this one, you run it at 2 because you have other fusion monsters you can go for. You run Panther Dancer at 2 because you have to make it equal to Leo because balance. Balance is pretty much key.
And the fusion tag, right? You run 2 of those.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And here's the thing with Leo and Panther. Leo, it basically goes like backwards with this. So backwards, starting with this card. This card can attack twice, and if it attacks the first time and destroys something, it can activate an effect and destroy all special summon monsters. It can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects. This one just can't be destroyed by card effects, and if you activate its effect in main phase, it can attack twice and increase its attack. Now we're going to go all the way down to the last fusion monster, which is Lunalight Cat Dancer. Just cannot be destroyed by battle, and its effect is really stupid because I push for game with its effect. You declare an attack, you burn them for 100 just for declaring the attack. So this one time on Dev Pro, I brought this out. This opponent actually had like 100 left. He had a face down. I declared attack. He basically mirror forced me, but it didn't matter because I was like, burn you for 100. So It still went through. This card is, if you get this out first turn, you basically set up a pretty good wall, unless your opponent Regekis Dark Holes or summons out a monster that just goes target, destroy. But this card, yeah, this card is just really good as a first turn, set up a wall, pass turn type of card.
Fill it.
Yep. And that's it, man.
Oh, cool. Thank you, Jay. That was a pretty awesome deck. Corbitt of Team Sanctum signing out.